What is going on, beautiful people? Welcome to another episode of the Narcissists Code. I'm your favorite self-aware narcissist, Mr. Lee Hammock, better known as Mental Illness across all social media platforms. This your first time seeing my face or hearing my lovely voice. I am a clinically diagnosed narcissist, and I use my platform on social media to raise awareness for NPD, get more people into therapy, and also validate the victims, survivors, and thrivers of said disorder, said toxic people, said toxic traits. Today's episode is going to be about how do narcissists treat their children? How do narcissists treat their children? Touchy subject, y'all. A lot of people want to ask me these type of questions, y'all, but people don't interact with the videos. So I'm just like, okay. Before we hop into today's episode, y'all, check out the self-love journal on Amazon. Lee Hammock, I Love Me, a self-love journal. Help you rebuild that self-love, identity, and things like that after a toxic relationship. I'm only laughing, y'all, because somebody in my comment section said the other day, he's like, you say and things like that a lot, so you should put that on the shirt. I was like, y'all don't listen too good. Y'all be listening too much. But I appreciate it, though. But yeah, how do narcissists treat their children? So a lot of narcissistic people, y'all, see their children, see our children as reflections of ourselves, right? So if we see our children as reflections of ourselves, then we're going to treat our children how we feel about ourselves. Somebody delivering something on my ring doorbell went off. We're going to treat our children how we feel about ourselves. Like, narcissistic people treat their children from the inside out, I would say. Definitely from the inside. Work yourself from the inside going out and things like that. So how I feel about myself typically is how I'm going to treat the children in my life. Not in my life, the children that I've birthed or that I've helped create and whatnot, you know. So it works that way a lot of times. So if that narcissistic person is feeling good about themselves, then they typically might treat their children somewhat nicely, because it just depends, y'all. There's not a one size fits all spectrum when you talk about how narcissists treat their kids, because some narcissists treat their kids good. Some of them will treat their kids fairly well. They might be treating their partner badly, but they might treat their kids good if that's possible. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of people would say, well, you can't be a good parent if you're abused. You can't be a good parent if you are being emotionally or physically abusive to the other parent, which I would agree with that. But they would treat their children, you know, well in a lot of different circumstances and a lot of different instances when it comes to that point right there. But yeah, narcissistic people tend to see kids as reflections of ourselves. So how we feel about ourselves, how we're going to treat our kids. If we don't like ourselves, y'all, if we hate ourselves, if we dislike a lot of the things about us, then and our kids reflect that back to us, then we're going to treat those children like we don't care about them, like we don't like them. You see what I'm saying? If that child is reflecting back the qualities in myself that I do not like, then you will resent that kid, and they will treat those kids badly. You know, that's why you get into these situations where you have, if there's multiple kids, or sometimes it could be just one kid, where that child could be a golden child or a scapegoat child. The golden children get treated well. If you are my little reflection and you're reflecting back my good qualities, you make me feel good about myself, then I'm going to treasure and value you. And a lot of times try to live vicariously through you. You see what I'm saying? So you get the golden child who gets a lot of love and affection applied to them, and a lot of pressure as well. Golden children get a lot of pressure applied to them. Like you damn near have to become a perfectionist to survive a lot of times. If you just so happen to be the golden child, you have to be a perfectionist, because you want to keep making your parent happy. You notice I said parent, because narcissistic people can be male, female, non-binary, whatever you identify as. You can be narcissistic and toxic as hell. You see what I'm saying? And so it gets into that space right there where, like, the golden children are going to get treated. They're going to treat the golden children well from the outside looking in. From the outside looking in, it's just like, damn, hey, that's your little carbon copy right there. You treating that kid just like, hey, you love that one. You love that one. Yeah, you love that one because it make you feel good about yourself. Narcissistic people are all about validation and supply and things of that nature. So they're going to be looking to get that from people. They're going to be looking to seek that from people and whatnot. They're going to be looking to achieve that from others. You see what I'm saying? So as that goes on, as that continues to build up and stuff and things, it's going to work. It's going to go that way. This is just one of those things. It's going to continuously go that way because that's how narcissistic people work, y'all. That's the mindset of it all. That's how it's going to continuously work, and it's going to keep going that way until something happens, until something abruptly happens. Like they're going to keep treating their kid away, keep treating the golden child like a golden child until that golden child does something that makes that narcissistic person resent them. You see what I'm saying? Because sometimes you can transition from going to be treated as the child of a narcissist. You can transition from being treated well to being treated badly almost overnight. Because if you start reflecting back the qualities that narcissistic person does not like about themselves, they start resenting you as their own child, as somebody who might look like them, as somebody who might act like them, and they might start treating you badly just because you start acting because they look at you differently. You mean? It happens all the time, y'all. It happens all the time in these relationship spaces, in these relationship dynamics. That's why I try to tell people, they're like, hey, you have to be very wary about this, because you can go from the golden child to the scapegoat in a little bit. Because the scapegoat children, if you've been the scapegoat child of a narcissist, you probably reflect back the bad qualities of the narcissistic person. When I say bad qualities, I don't mean you're a bad person. Now, I don't even mean that society would perceive them as bad qualities. The narcissist perceives them as bad qualities. The narcissist perceives them as qualities that remind them of themselves and the things about themselves that they don't like. So they're going to treat they're going to treat that scapegoat child as a scapegoat. You're going to get blamed for everything. You're also going to have to be a perfectionist, but your perfection or your attempt at being a perfectionist is not going to be rewarded as much as if you were a golden child. The scapegoat child has to be perfect just to survive. The golden child has to be perfect to survive, but also to get that attention and validation from that narcissistic parent. You know what I mean? Because as a father that has narcissistic personality disorder, my mind works a very similar way. I've had to go to therapy to try to course correct this, because it can be disheartening. Because I want to value my kids regardless of who they are. I want my kids to have their own identity. And if you are the child of a narcissist, a lot of times you don't get to have your own identity. If you have your own identity as the child of a narcissist, they treat you like an outlier. They treat you badly because they want you to be who they want you to be. If you have your own identity, if you push back, if you try to set boundaries on your narcissistic parent, even as a child growing up, they resent you. They treat you badly. They push against your boundaries. They abuse you physically, mentally, emotionally, and verbally. They abuse you in every way possible. You see what I'm saying? They will because you push back, because you set boundaries. We all know that narcissists don't like boundaries anyway, but it does get to that point, into that space where you get a lot of them who act different, who act out, who tend to want to act out, who tend to want to behave in a certain type of way because they are the golden child, because they are the parents. Narcissistic parents demand respect, and they feel like golden child, scapegoat child, whatever role that you're playing as a child of a narcissist, they demand respect. They demand not only respect, they demand compliance. They think narcissistic people think that their kids belong to them. Like, your life is a loan. Like, the fact that you were born and you're walking on this earth is a loan. Like, you are in debt to that narcissist for the rest of your life. This is the mindset of a lot of narcissistic people. Like, hey, you were only born because I allowed you to be born. You're only here because I allowed you to be here. You know what I mean? So you should be grateful that you were birthed and that I sacrificed for you. The narcissistic parent will literally, everything that they do for you growing up, everything that they do to raise you, even the bare minimum stuff, they will consider that like you should be grateful for. Hey, at least I didn't do this. At least I didn't do that. I wasn't that bad of a parent. At least I was there for you. At least I didn't abandon you. At least I did this. And they can treat you horribly throughout the entirety of your childhood, but want you to hold on to the few good times that they were there for you. The few good times that they want you to hold on to that type of stuff. I'm just telling you, if you have a parent that is a narcissist, you understand exactly what I'm saying when I say that, when I'm conveying this to you, because it does get to that point, into that space where the narcissistic person, you know what I mean, is that they will control you. They will do things like this to you. They will just, this is the mindset, y'all. It really is the mindset. It really is just a very weird dynamic being raised by narcissists that you can never, ever truly make happy. It sucks that you can't make your parent happy. I know a lot of times you want to try to make your parent happy. You want to try to get your parents' approval. You want to do things to make them proud of you. But to make a narcissistic parent proud of you is a very, very difficult task, damn near impossible task a lot of times, y'all. It really, really is. So I just be like, it sucks. But like I said, you have to be, when you grow up, you get your own identity. Like, it's not your fault. I would just say it is not your fault. You get raised by a narcissist, it really is not your fault, y'all. You can't choose, you can't pick your parents, you can't choose your parents. And you, like I said, you just got stuck with a narcissism and toxic parents, and that sucks, y'all. When I tell you that to people all the time. But anyway, y'all, let me hop off this thing. Let me hop off, do a one-on-one. Y'all hear the little Zoom thing go off. Make sure you hop on Amazon. Check out the self-love journal, the self-love brand. Speaking of kids raised by narcissists, we wrote a kids book that's coming out soon. So join my newsletter so you don't miss when that gets released, y'all. Like and subscribe for more. And as always, mental illness is out. Peace. Thank you so much for making it to the end of my video. Thank you so much for the support. If you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe to the channel so that we can help reach more people. The self-love brand is available as well. I'm Vital. The link is in the description of every single video I do. The self-love journal is also available on Amazon. Check it out. Lee Hammock, I Love Me. Thank you so much, y'all. If you haven't already as well, check in the joining the channel memberships for, different perks, behind the scenes things as well. Thank you so much. Mental illness is out.